problems. That guy, he just has to touch you once.
Shit's going down.
He's so different than anybody else in the division. Like, he knocks everybody out. Everybody hits hard. They all hit hard.
But
that
shit
fucking
down.
dude hits hard.
Set that Jake Paul can come 15-20% in regards to Anthony Joshua. He's a completely different specimen. Look, you'll see what it looks like when they stand next to each other.
Joe Rogan talked about Anthony Joshua's tough new training for a possible fight with Jake Paul, and his reaction said everything. After seeing leaked videos of Joshua throwing powerful punches and training with top coaches, Rogan called him scary. He warned that Jake Paul might finally be facing a challenge he can't talk his way out of. Rogan said Joshua looks more focused, faster, and tougher than he has in years, and that this fight could end quickly and painfully if Jake Paul dares to step into the ring.
Need to get stronger.
The Jake Paul vs. Anthony Joshua fight will be a real, official heavyweight boxing match under normal boxing rules. They will fight for 8 rounds, each 3 minutes long, and both must wear 10-ounce gloves. Joshua also has to weigh no more than 245 pounds to keep the fight fair. The win or loss will go on their real boxing records. This is a serious match.
Professional bout. This is going on people's records. AJ got to take him serious because this isn't some exhibition. We're running out some judges to act like there's a decision and someone won. No, someone's going to win, someone's going to lose here. It's 8 rounds, 3-minute rounds. Again, heavyweight pro bout, 10-ounce gloves. AJ talking about breaking internets over faces. I think he meant to say breaking his face on the internet. Who knows? Maybe you can do both in the big 2025. But then you have the weight limit, 245 pounds. And people are automatically going to go, oh, God, here's the thing. Oh, here's the thing in the contract. No, stop all that. And I'm going to go on a rant in a second for all the people that thought this was fake, for all the people that thought that Jake wouldn't do this, for all the people that thought he was scared. I'm going to go on that rant in a second. But, okay, yes, 245 is a weird number because Jake has already fought at heavyweight. He fought Mike Tyson at 220-something. But again, I understand it a little bit. We're on short notice here. You don't want to have a Tyson Fury type situation, which AJ would never be 290 coming in here. But 260, 270, it starts to get out of the realm of possibility of, like, what are we doing here? Even though heavyweight has no limit, I get it.
Nikisa Bidarian, the CEO of Most Valuable Promotions and Jake Paul's main promoter, told Sky Sports that the December 19th fight with Anthony Joshua is a huge worldwide event. He said that even though Joshua is the more experienced boxer, Jake Paul's crazy confidence might be the secret weapon. Bidarian explained that this fight is like a symbolic battle, and their team rushed to make it happen, finishing all the planning and deals in a very short time. He also confirmed that there will be strict weight rules and real professional fight rules to make sure the match is serious and high stakes. Bidarian also said this fight is not as one-sided as Joshua's fight with Francis Ngannou. He explained that even though Ngannou was a big, strong man, he didn't have enough real boxing experience, which made that fight uneven. But he believes Jake Paul has quickly improved, gaining enough skill and ring experience to make the fight with Joshua more competitive.
The weight, will there be a limit for Joshua?
So there's a lot of discussion around the weight. Joshua fought Usyk twice. Both of those times, Usyk was 221 pounds. Joshua was 240 to 245. When Jake fought Mike Tyson last year, 227 pounds. I expect Jake will come in anywhere between 225 and 230, and Anthony Joshua has a weight limit of 245 pounds.
There will be those, as you're aware, that will look at it and criticise this fight. There already have been, haven't there? They'll say it's a real mismatch. What would you say to them? Are we going to be watching sport at its purest?
I would say it's much less of a mismatch than what you saw with AJ and Francis Ngannou, who a massive man, but relatively no boxing experience. I would say it's much less of a mismatch than AJ's 9th or 10th fight against guys who've been knocked out 20 to 25 times. Given AJ's pedigree, Jake is built for this. Jake is built for the big moments. So do I think it's dangerous for Jake Paul? Absolutely. Do I think it's also dangerous for Anthony Joshua? 100%.
Many fight experts say Jake Paul is taking a huge risk by fighting Anthony Joshua. Former cruiserweight champion Lawrence Oakley warned that Joshua's size and power could be a real danger to Paul's health. And former two-time world champion David Benavidez said Paul is walking into a dangerous trap because Joshua has so much top-level experience.
I give 100% respect to Jake Paul, but that's a dangerous fight for him. He probably gets knocked out, and I'm not trying to be a hater. I'm not saying nothing bad, but Anthony Joshua is Anthony Joshua. You know, he's multiple-time champion, Olympic gold medalist. You know what I mean? The last time somebody that stepped in the ring with him that didn't have that much boxing experience was Ngannou, and you've seen what happened to him. Yeah. But big respects to Jake Paul. It's going to be a good card. You know what I mean? It's a big fight. And it's a good fight, man. I give 100% respect to Jake Paul for even taking that fight.
Carl Froch has spoken out against Anthony Joshua for choosing to fight Jake Paul, saying it looks like AJ is just cashing out, and he thinks that's a fair question. Froch says Joshua has already made a lot of money and won big titles, so now it seems like he cares more about money than about his boxing legacy. Since Joshua is already financially secure, Froch believes he doesn't have much left to prove in regular boxing and is picking an easier fight that still pays a lot. Some boxing fans think Jake Paul might actually beat Anthony Joshua, and they're putting their hopes on his punching power. Even though people call him a YouTuber-turned-boxer, Paul has shown real strength in his fights, knocking down or knocking out several opponents. Tyson Fury even said recently that Paul could knock AJ out because Paul is getting bigger and stronger at heavyweight. Paul also keeps saying that Joshua has a weak chin, and that one clean, well-timed punch could end the fight early.
What else have we got to consider? Is AJ cashing out? Well, I did say a year ago when he got splattered by Daniel Dubois that he's finished now. He won't get that confidence back. He's not had any confidence, in his head. No belief for a long time. And I don't think he can get back to world level. There's a couple of new young guns now coming up and coming through. It's like a changing of the guard. And when Usyk retires, I don't know what Daniel Dubois is going to do next, but what Daniel Dubois did to him, then he went on and lost to Usyk. But there's a few new heavyweights coming through, Moses Atalma, just to mention one. And you wouldn't start putting AJ in with any of these young up-and-comers that can punch hard, because I just don't think he's got the chance, because the ambition and the desire is going to be gone. So AJ most definitely is cashing out, and you can't fault him. Fair play to him. He's going to get a massive payday, maximise his exit route by fighting fake Paul.
Many people are calling this a David versus Goliath fight. Jake Paul, who became famous on social media and has mostly fought smaller opponents, is now stepping into the ring with Anthony Joshua, a huge heavyweight with championship experience and a big size advantage. Joshua's height, power, and background make him the Goliath, while Paul, the underdog, is counting on his heart, confidence, and courage to even the odds.
Do you think he can win, Jake Paul?
I think it's a possibility. No one is backing Jake Paul currently. You've seen him in the ring. You can see that he's got some knockout power. And I also believe people don't look at Joshua's last few fights. And I don't think it's going to be as big of a landslide as people feel. I feel like there's an overhand right that could easily land, and I wouldn't predict that Joshua's chin can last that. The problem is that all of the pressure's on Joshua at the moment. So Jake Paul, if he gets knocked out in 12 seconds, he should get knocked out. The problem is, as soon as Joshua starts taking damage, all of a sudden he's thinking, the world is watching me. I'm a professional fighter, and I'm getting beat off a YouTuber. All of the pressure is in Joshua, and that's a lot that can weigh on a man. You can't deny that Jake Paul has power. I think it's one of his only attributes. I think he's a very poor boxer, but what he does have is a weird technique where you don't know what
he's got power. How do we know he's got power?
He's knocked people out. Joshua has all of the world looking at him thinking you should walk him over. If it gets 2 rounds, 3 rounds inside, I think Joshua loses.
One big concern about Anthony Joshua fighting Jake Paul is that AJ has only had 2 fights in the last 2 years. After losing a close decision to Alexander Usyk in 2022, Joshua has fought less often. He beat Robert Helenius in August 2023 and Otto Wallin in December 2023, and then knocked out Francis Ngannou in March 2024.
I can't judge Anthony Joshua for getting the bag, as the kids say, for going to wherever the fight's going to take place and taking $92 million for going up against Jake Paul, right? You can't give him for that. You can't judge him for that. But don't try and tell me that this is a real professional boxing contest. I'm saying my guess is that this will be an exhibition matchup. And if it is, it'll be one hell of a show. And I'll certainly tune in. And fair play to both men because they're making an absolute goddamn killing. But what is going on? Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua. It's a lose-lose for Joshua. It's a win-win for Jake Paul.
One big concern about Anthony Joshua fighting Jake Paul is that AJ has only had 2 fights in the last 2 years. After losing a close decision to Alexander Usyk in 2022, Joshua has fought less often. He beat Robert Helenius in August 2023 and Otto Wallin in December 2023, and then knocked out Francis Ngannou in March 2024.
The problem for Anthony Joshua is his activity. He's only fought twice in 2 years, and one of them he got knocked out off Daniel Dubois. That was his last fight, and a lot of people say you can only judge a fighter's quality from their last fight. And then the fight before that was a win, but it was a win against Francis Ngannou. Francis Ngannou, if you know, he was the UFC heavyweight who's not a real boxer, and he only had 1 fight before that boxing fight, what he lost as well. So that's his activity in boxing. Now Jake Paul, on the other hand, looking at his box rec, he's had 6 fights since 2023, and one of them was against Mike Tyson. But we all seen what happened in that fight. Mike Tyson was well past his prime. Where Anthony Joshua, on the other hand, is, but I'm not going to say he's coming into his prime because he had some great wins earlier on in his career before he lost to Usyk twice. And by the way, when he did lose to Usyk, the last one was a split decision. It was a pretty close fight. So now this fight is matched, and I just want to look at the tail of the tape. Now looking at the age difference, we've got 28 years old compared to 36 years old. So I guess the advantage there goes a little bit towards Jake Paul. 28-year-old is better than a 36-year-old. But that being said, we've got talking about experience and everything else, what comes with being 36 years old at Anthony Joshua's level. And then, like I mentioned, the heavyweights kind of seem to prime a little bit older. Now come down to the height and the weight. This is the big one. 6'1" versus 6'6". 200 pound versus 252 pound. We got a 252 pounder in Anthony Joshua. The reach advantage is a lot, which we would expect. Amateur fights, we can see that Jake's only had 1, where AJ's had 43, but 43 of them are including at the highest level, Olympic level. And yes, he won the Olympic bloody gold medal, if I don't need to remind you. Then the pro record, Jake Paul has had 13 fights, lost 1. AJ has had 28 fights, and he's lost 4 with 25 KOs.
David Haye has given a very serious warning about the Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul fight, calling it an obvious mismatch. Talking to Sky News, the former heavyweight champion said Joshua could seriously hurt Paul and that Paul's safety is in real danger. Haye even suggested the fight could be Paul's last day on earth, showing how bad things could get if Paul ignores Joshua's size, power, and experience. There is a huge size difference between Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul. Joshua is 6 feet 6 inches with an 82-inch reach, while Paul is about 6 feet 1 inch with a 76-inch reach. Joshua usually weighs 240 to 250 pounds, but he must stay under 245 for this fight. Paul, on the other hand, fought most of his career as a cruiserweight and only went up to about 227 pounds in his past heavyweight fights. This big size and weight gap could give Joshua a strong advantage in power and reach.
Is a big money fight, £100 million potentially. Are you confident it'll happen?
I wasn't confident when I first heard about it. It sounds like one of those fairy tale fights that people talk about but don't actually get over the line. I heard this 3-4 months ago. I just dismissed it. I heard it a week ago. I went along with it, but deep down I thought this isn't going to happen. And today it's been made official. Jake Paul is going to get in a ring in a boxing match, boxing gloves, to mix it with one of the most dangerous heavyweights on the planet, someone who is Olympic gold medalist, won the heavyweight championship twice, although he lost his last fight against a very good Daniel Dubois. He's a top 10 heavyweight on the planet versus internet sensation, someone who's a latecomer to boxing and has boxed at a very moderate level. I'm talking domestic level. And he lost to Tommy Fury, for instance. And Tommy Fury, who he lost to, versus Anthony Joshua, they're 2 completely different sports. So I commend Jake Paul for putting himself in harm's way, because boxing is a dangerous game. People have died in the ring. People have been seriously injured, maimed. And he believes in himself enough to do it on a massive scale, because it's not about the money. He's got enough money. This is him wanting to push the boundaries of reality. He's manifested an amazing life for himself. He's a superstar. And I think he wants to try and do the unthinkable. He wants to. It's an insane challenge he's put himself up for, but you've got to give him credit.
You say an insane challenge. You've described it before as Jake Paul being a cat versus Anthony Joshua's lion.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not equally matched on any sense, are they?
There's not one element of their boxing skill set that Jake Paul can come 15, 20% in regards to Anthony Joshua. He's a completely different specimen. Look, you'll see what it looks like when they stand next to each other.
Anthony Joshua is taking a big risk by fighting Jake Paul. Many experts say the danger isn't just in the ring but also to his legacy. Former heavyweight Dave Allen warned that if Paul lands even one punch, it could ruin everything Joshua has done. Some think this fight is just about money. Eddie Hearn defended it, saying, "You can't eat legacy." Still, people worry Joshua might trade his respected reputation for a big payday and be remembered more for chasing money than for his boxing achievements.
A lot of boxing fans will think this is a massive stain on his career and a bit of an embarrassment. Now, you two have done it. I'm sure you would both fight Jake Paul tomorrow, wouldn't you?
Yeah, but we're both retired. And we'll be looking at it saying, still an easy fight because he can't box, he's useless. So it's risk-reward, minimum risk, massive reward. So of course we'd fight Jamie.
No, but you say that, it's a big risk, Carl. Big risk.
I'm not having that.
Big risk. If you don't go and annihilate him in the first 30 seconds...
Yeah, it's fixed.
Can you right, it's fixed. Oh, he's pulling him round.
Yeah.
He's talking about me fighting him though. So would you think that was fixed if I didn't go and annihilate him? 11 years retired. I think that's the point George makes. He always has a little dig and says,
no, but say you go out there and it's a tough fight for you. You can say, well, what would you expect? I haven't boxed for 11 years. But then it's like, it's hard, isn't it? It's hard. Do you want that?
Nobody thinks any less.
You've got the best ending.
Yeah, I've got
your career.
Definitely. So, nobody thinks any less of Mike Tyson because he lost to Jake Paul.
He was 58 years old.
Yeah, exactly. So
he's in hospital a week before.
Snap been retired 11 years, and I'd still go in there, in my opinion, and whoop him. I don't think it'd be hard at all. So listen, he won't fight me. He's pretending he don't know who I am now, for a start. So he's thought.
How can he not know who you are?
Froch means business. How can he not know?
Many boxing experts and fans now think Anthony Joshua might be the best version of himself. Even after setbacks like losing twice to Alexander Usyk, Joshua has bounced back stronger each time. Lately, people have noticed he seems calmer, more focused, and more determined than before.
Got what it takes. But then sports is so psychological. Combat is so psychological. And I think the ups and downs of AJ's career have come because of the ups and downs of the psychology, you know? When AJ's on mentally, he's a different guy, man. I mean, I can remember early in his career just being this destroyer and just having this utter mean streak in there, and it would just come out of him when he would fight. You could just see it. He had that it factor, and he was so popular. I mean, and then I remember being at the Ruiz fight at the Garden, and he gets hit with like this grazing shot, never recovers, and he's gone. And this is after I watched him knock out Klitschko at Wembley, getting up off the canvas in front of a crazy crowd. So I'm like, I'm leaving the Garden that night. I'm like, what happened to this guy? What you know?
In short, Anthony Joshua's choice to fight Jake Paul is a big gamble for his health and reputation. The fight could bring a huge payday, but many worry it might hurt his legacy if things go wrong. Critics say he could turn a great comeback into a circus show. On the other hand, it could be the big reward he's earned after years of big fights. Still, at this point in his career, taking such a risky fight could end in a surprise loss or serious injury.
A lot of people have said, well, if he doesn't knock him out the way in which he knocked out Francis Ngannou, he's a sham, this is a sham, this is all rigged. A lot of people said if Jake wins, this is a sham, this is rigged. A lot of people said if he goes the distance with Jake, this is a sham, this is all rigged. Some people are saying even before it was finalized, Gareth on our show, although he folded quite quickly when he was face-to-face with Eddie at the open workouts. I saw that on IFL TV, I do believe, saying that his legacy is already in question as a result of taking this fight. Now, I'm surprised that people like Gareth say this. Look, this may not be your cup of tea. You can say, I want to see Anthony Joshua fight other heavyweights. I want to see him fight the likes of, Joseph Parker. I want to see him fight Marvin Bakoli. I want to see him fight Caballel. I want to see him fight Zhilei Zhang. I want to see him fight Hrgovic.
Want to see him fight Tyson Fury. What do you think? Is Joshua being smart by fighting Jake Paul for the money, or is he risking his legacy? Share your thoughts.